Hey everybody, Cindy here. There's a jet flying over, so I'm just going to wait a moment so you can hear me a little better. There we go. Okay, I needed to share with you an experience I had last night, actually, when I took my children to dinner to a restaurant near where I live. A very interesting experience in self. It was really interesting about how self-deflection and blaming really shows up in adults, right? So I want to explain this to you. So we're having dinner, and my son had ordered his meal, and everyone else had ordered their meal, and we're eating away. And I've looked over to what my son was eating, and then all of a sudden I see that his meat, like his patty on his burger, was like red raw, right? It was not even cooked. It was so red. And I said, buddy, that's not cooked. Whoa, don't eat that. Just give it to mum. He goes, no, mum, it's okay. It's just really cold. So clearly it wasn't cooked. And so I politely went up to the lady and I said, look, this isn't cooked. I'm really not going to let my son eat that. So could you please get another one for him? And anyway, in the process of that being made again, she came out to let me know that the chef would like to apologize to me because it wasn't cooked. And I said, oh, that's great. Look, we'll come and see you when we've finished our meal. Thank you very much. Anyway, so we had finished our meal, and then it was time to go and meet the chef, right? So I said to my son, look, I think that it's important that the chef apologizes to you because it's your food. All right, you're the one that's eating it. It was cooked for you, not for me. And so in that, I explained to the lady that, look, the chef can speak to my son because this is the food that they'd made for him. And then what happened just blew my mind. I was so shocked at the actions that we actually do as adults when we're so goddamn asleep, right? So instead of coming out and apologizing gently to my son about what had happened, instead this whole situation got turned around so that it became his fault, like it became my child's fault that the patty was raw. And it was such a deflection of responsibility from the chef because in that moment, I mean, I'm watching this all unfold and my son saying, it's okay, it's fine, it's all good, in his small little heart as he would. And the chef is saying to my son, well, we only cook things a certain way here. So if you don't want it cooked a certain way, you need to speak up and you need to say this. And it wasn't cooked the way that you wanted it. And I'm sorry about that, but blah, 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 blah. And clearly this thing wasn't even cooked. So I'm watching this unfold and I'm letting it play its course, and I didn't interrupt, and I explained to my son later what was going on, of course. But what was happening from the adult point of view of this man is that somewhere in his world he has been so incredibly wronged or made to feel wrong that his first line of defense was to make others wrong. Right? And I want you to see if this resonates with you and shows up in your world, because I know it did in my world for a very long time too. And so what happens, that child part of us, right? That child part of us that isn't allowed to feel what they want to feel because it's not okay. That child part of us that's not allowed to speak up and say what they need to say because that's not okay, becomes the adult, right? Who's never ever right. And so for them to always feel wrong as the adult, they have to right that wrong by making others feel wrong. Now, this was so clear, and I needed to take this experience and I needed to take this story and I needed to share it with you because I know it's going to resonate either for you or someone that you know, to be able to see it with a little bit of heart. Okay, so this is what I did. This man was clearly very defensive and quite aggressive towards my child for the patty being raw, when really what his child self was saying and what his heart was saying was that in that moment he was so incredibly, let's say, embarrassed or didn't know what to do with him being wrong. So he then used that as power to make another person feel wrong, so he felt better, right? So he felt right. So he felt like he had not done anything wrong. And this is what we do. When we feel wrong, we'll make others wrong so we feel right. And it's a continual cycle until you can see it and until you choose to break it. So when you justify something that you know you've done wrong and you try and blame others for it, you're straight away putting yourself in a victim role. And when you put yourself in a victim role, you'll lose your power. You'll lose your energy. People will see it. People will recognize it. And you start to become so disconnected between your mind and your feeling body. So, it was an interesting night. And if you're friends with me on my Facebook page, you'll also see I had a big science discovery too from my children around children having two tummies, which was a whole other story. So it's hilarious. So if you get a chance to jump on my private page and have a look, it's quite funny. So really the clear point I want to make to you is this, is that when we as the adult know that we're wrong, it is so much more courageous and powerful and energy returning to admit that you are wrong. And by admitting that you're wrong, you then open your heart to receive more love and receive more abundance, because you're not blocking or deflecting that by shifting blame to somebody else. Okay, if you know that this is something that you really are struggling with, which I know a lot of us do, and it's really habitual and we need to break the cycle, then just reach out to me. I'm here for you. I love you dearly. And I will chat with you all really, really soon. Take care. Bye for now.